Rick Irwin, let's hear it for him. Once again, we've just received the message over the radio system from the track officials that Rick Irwin wants to dedicate this win tonight to his mother, who had just passed away, as he rolls out of turn number 4. There he is one more time, the Banquet Table Buffet Racing Chevrolet Camaro of Rick Irwin.
The number 75 of Larry Clemens come out of line there on the front row, so we'll realign them and try it once more. All right, on back to the rest of the field. Of course, you got back to Tony the Iceman Conway. Alongside of him, we'll find Timmy Blackwell. On back to the number 86 of Jeff Roberts, Calvin Crane there in car number 4. The number 16 of Rocket Roger Vincent with Bobby Johnson starting next to him. Then on back to Danny Blackwell and Raymond Johnson there in that row, while Tony Anderson and Basham will be in the next row. Then we find the number 88 of Tom Winters, your current points leader, starting alongside the number 2 of Buck Skaggs and the number 48 of Richard Boyd in that field as well.
As they roll down into turns 3 and 4, they'll be set for the green flag. Coming into this week's racing action, Tom Winters along with Buck Skaggs up at the top of the point standings. Of course, by virtue of that, they'll be starting out just about in last place in the field, and they move on up or move on down through the point standings to the front row, where we find 23rd, 24th place there in the point standings. Larry Clemens leads them out of turn 4. Chris Fisher drops the green, and we're racing at Louisville Motor Speedway.
Off they slide through turns 1 and 2, making their way around for the first time to the intersection. Larry Clemens out to a rocking start. He drops back, or he finds the number 369 of Quentin Cummings dropping back. Moving up now, it's the number 96 machine, or the number 69, I should say, of Tom Wagner, as he moves up in the second. Harold Murphy holding down third, Quentin Cummings fourth, as we come across for lap number 1.
Off they go into turns 1 and 2, and Larry Clemens enjoys about a 4-car lane separation between himself and Chuck Angus, who runs at second. Hammer and Harold Murphy goes third. Then, side by side for 4th place, Quentin Cummings on the inside of Tom Wagner. Larry Holbert also along with Rick Kelly in car number 90. Big traffic jam going down into the 3rd turn as they attempt to race 4 abreast sometimes. It looks like Charlie Hartz is fading to the tail of the field.
Calvin Crane went with him, unfortunately for Calvin, as they come to the intersection. Larry Clemens still out in front now with about a 7 or 8 car length lead ahead of him. Then we find the number 96 of Chuck Angus running back in second. He's got Harold Murphy all over his tail. Richard Boyd seems to be having a lot of trouble with his cars. He has dropped off the pace quite a bit.
The scramble right now is for about the 8th place right now is Tony the Iceman Conway. He takes the right way grinding Saw and Tool Buick into the number 7 position, it looks like, Dean, and has separated himself from the second half of the field now. Quentin Cummings getting up on the speed bumps, and he falls to the tail of the lineup. But it looks like the Iceman is really on the move. He reels in Jim Berry in the number 51, moving into turns 1 and 2, shoots to the inside of Berry and pulls up side by side. Berry directly behind Charlie Hartz. They make a little contact. Hartz spins. Both Berry and Conway avoid him as they scoot through the intersection.
All right, we're coming up now on lap number 5 for our Monroe Shotguns Overs Figure 8 division. Larry Clemens still out in front. Chuck Angus running second with Harold Murphy on third, Tom Wagner fourth, Larry Holbert fifth. Then we find our way back to the number 90 of Rick Kelly in 6th position, while Jim Berry holds down 7th. Tony the Iceman Conway currently 8th on the field, with Jeff Roberts and Danny Blackwell rounding out your top 10.
Going 11th, it's Timmy Blackwell. 12th to Tony Anderson. 13th now to Rocket Roger Vincent. 14th to the number 0 of Raymond Johnson, and then a great side-by-side battle between Tom Winters and John Basham as they scoot through the intersection directly in front of our race leaders, Larry Clemens and Chuck Angus, along with Hammer and Harold Murphy. Murphy looks like he's going for 2nd place. As they move over to turn 4, he drops back in line, and again, Larry Clemens is forced to get on the brakes at the intersection to avoid John Basham in the number 1.
All right, here they come down through the intersection. This time through, it's going to be a little traffic for your race leader, Larry Clemens, but he manages to negotiate his way through it. The margin has narrowed a little bit now between him and the 2nd place running number 96 of Chuck Angus, a rookie in this division. Harold Murphy right up there as well in the thick of things as they come across for lap number 8 Lap 8 going down on the boards. Chuck Angus moving to the inside of Larry Clements now, but unable to take advantage in time through turn number 2.
It's a 3-car draft for the lead. A switch up at the intersection, and Chuck Angus will go to the outside of Larry Clements and take over the lead. Clements was forced to slow at the intersection for several cars at the intersection, and now they move back through again. Angus barely escapes contact with the, and there's trouble at the intersection, and it was the number 90 of Rick Kelly's machine. He was stopped at the intersection. The fuel cell knocked completely out of the car. It lays in the middle of the racetrack, right there at the yellow stripe going across the intersection part of the track. Rick Kelly climbs out of his car, and he's okay.
All right, so that's going to bring out the red flag on action here as that fuel cell laying almost right smack dab in the middle of our figure 8 intersection. Our track crew springing into action. The number 90 of Rick Kelly, as Frank Scott said, was sitting there stalled, and the number 51 of Jim Berry come up real hard behind him and just not able to stop in time. All the drivers shake hands. That's good to see, Frank Scott.
It sure is, and it shows you the level of sportsmanship connected with this Pronto Auto Parts Monroe Shocks Figure 8 division, as Jim Berry was stopped at the intersection, or excuse me, the number 90 of Rick Kelly was.
Tents are set up for the big action tomorrow as we welcome the drivers in, and it'll be a very good field tomorrow. Going tomorrow night at the Louisville Motor Speedway. As we said, Heat 10 features for our Granger Select drivers, and we'll have the feature race for you live. That's entirely tomorrow evening. Back to racing now, Frank Scott.
Sure are, and the green flag's back out, and into turns 1 and 2, it's Hammer and Harold Murphy now, with excellent track positioning coming out of turn number 2 and through the intersection. And he leads the field down into turns 3 and 4 with Chuck Angus, the former leader of this event, stuck on the outside, and Larry Holbert right now is battling with him as they come out of turn number 4. Holbert pulls clean around and takes over the number 2 spot. I said he was moving up. The Iceman, Tony Conway, now challenges Angus for 3rd place as they move through the intersection and down into turns 3 and 4.
It's going to be interesting to see how the battle unfolds. They're midway through the turns right now. Tony Conway looked to the inside of Chuck Angus, but not able to capitalize this time around. Hammer and Harold Murphy out in front. Larry Holbert running 2nd. Chuck Angus 3rd, but for how much longer, only Tony Conway knows, as he currently holds down 4th. Danny Blackwell has made his way up to 5th, with Larry Clements going 6th. Tom Wagner holding 7th on the field. Roger Vincent now moves up into 8th, with Jeff Roberts at 9th, and Tony Anderson is now inside the top 10 in that number 42 car. Some
great racing talent there for 4th place. It's Tony the Iceman Conway, along with 2-time Figure 8 champion Danny Blackwell, racing side by side into turns 1 and 2. But it's Blackwell who takes over the number 4 spot as they move through the intersection.
Blackwell gets the advantage going through turns 3 and 4 right now. Chuck Angus going wide, and that's going to open the door for Danny Blackwell to move inside. We'll have to see how he comes across this time through the intersection for lap number 13. Danny Blackwell pulling up alongside of Chuck Angus as they head off through turns 1 and 2.
Danny Blackwell with the advantage right now on his machine. He's able to really keep that car nailed down on the inside part of the track as he moves on the inside of Chuck Angus. And again, see how well Blackwell is able to keep his car on the inside. And he'll move into the number 3 position now as he gets around Chuck Angus. A moment there at the intersection, that was Quentin Cummings in car number 369. He and Harold Murphy nearly collided that time at the intersection. Of course, Hammer and Harold Murphy is our race leader, and he's got Larry Holbert in car number 14 running at 2nd, very close to him. They're only about 2 car lengths separating 1st and 2nd place. I'll tell you what, Dean, Larry Holbert knows how to win these features.
Oh, that he does. In fact, earlier this season, he not only rolled the car, but he managed to bring it back and win the feature event as well. So he is no stranger to victory lane. All right, Harold Murphy still out in front. Larry Holbert, though, right behind him in the number 14 machine. Blackwell now with solid hold on 3rd. Chuck Angus back to 4th. Tony Conway running 5th. Larry Clements holds down 6th. Tony Anderson has now made his way up to 7th position, picking up 3 since our last run back. Roger Vincent holds down 8th with Tom Wagner 9th. Jeff Roberts rounds out the top 10.
Tom Winters in car number 88, the current point leader, has not emerged towards the front of this lineup as predicted, as neither has the number 00 of Bobby Johnson nor Buck Skaggs. They started out in the final positions of the starting field, and again, they have not marched their cars towards the front of the lineup as of 17 laps, Dean.
In fact, all your top markers pretty much still holding back to the rear of the field there. The number 1 of John Basham back there, Calvin Crane. Then you find Bobby Johnson, Buck Skaggs, Raymond Johnson, and Tom Leonard. All your top leaders are right there on staying glued to the back of the pack.
It kind of indicates the type of talent that's out there, because, you know, when you line up 24 of these Monroe shock absorber figure 8 cars in the field, every one of them's tough, and any position you can get out there is well earned. We're 18 laps into this.
Oh, and Anderson's gotten hooked up with Quentin Cummings' bumper, and they're locked together over in the entrance to turn number 2. They break loose, but that's going to lose quite a few positions for the number 42 machine.
Well, Quentin Cummings in the 369 was digressing through the field. The 42 of Anderson was sending his positioning through the field, but evidently they got together over in the second turn, and it's really penalized both of the cars. 19 complete. We're 6 away from a finish, and out front, Hammer and Harold Murphy in the number 06, an unsponsored Chevrolet Impala.
So he continues now, making his way out of turn number 2 down to the intersection. Traffic might be a problem for him coming up here in a couple of laps, but we are 20 away right now, soon to be 21 in this 25-lap feature. Harold Murphy out in front, making his way down towards the start-finish line. He clears the intersection, and the lap blinks off.
I'll tell you, in about another lap or so, he's going to be meeting with the Bobby Johnsons and the Raymond Johnsons at the intersection. As again, and they do get very close that time. That's Raymond Johnson in the number 0, and Harold Murphy, our race leader, getting very close at that intersection, Dean, and we'll have to continue to watch them.
Of course, we got a very big, watch out here. Oh.
Lead change.
Go ahead, Frank.
Harold Murphy connected up with Rusty Kelly, a stalled car at the intersection, and it looks like Murphy has stalled his car, not only giving up the lead, but most of the entire field now has gone around Murphy's machine. Your race leader is Larry Holbert in car number 14. He now looks for his second feature win of the 1992 racing season, but he'll have to earn it because he has 2-time track champion Danny Blackwell now on his back bumper.
Blackwell's going to be all over him. Blackwell going to the inside, coming out of turn number 4 right now. He pulls it up even with Holbert as they head through the intersection, down to turns 3 and 4.
A pair of figure 8 racing veterans from around our Kentuckiana area here. Danny Blackwell and Larry Holbert, 2 of probably the most experienced figure 8 racers here tonight at Louisville Motor Speedway. They'll see the white flag with Holbert in command of the event. Danny Blackwell glides up the banking in turns 1 and 2. He'll drop back in line about a half a car length behind Holbert as they move through the intersection. Holbert now looking to the inside of Rusty Kelly going into turns 3 and 4. Blackwell again right on his back bumper as they move over to turn number 3 and 4. As the checkered flag comes out, we've got one car upside down up in turns 1 and 2 over in the first and second turn area. It's the number 12 of Timmy Blackwell. His car upside down and a lot of heavy damage done to his machine. Tom Wagner in car number 69 was the second car involved. Timmy Blackwell has climbed from his machine, and the officials now coming to his assistance over in the first and second turn area. Again, the checkered flag fallen on this event as the number 14 of Larry Holbert came away with the victory.
Everybody is okay.
And the word from the radio is that all drivers involved in the accident in the first turn area are all A-OK. So let's hear a nice round of applause for them.
Yes, a big hand indeed, as that could have been a very serious accident. The number 69 of Tom Wagner and the number 12 of Tim Blackwell all caught up over there right at the entrance to pit road, and Timmy Blackwell's machine is setting upside down on the racing surface and looks quite beaten. I did not see what happened. We'll have to run the videotape back here in just a moment and see. Nope. Indication is we did not pick it up on videotape either, so unable to see what happened.
I tell you, Dean, we were watching a very hotly contested battle for the lead over the final 2 laps of the race as 2 of the top figure 8 veterans. Your early race leader looks like his car stalls going into the first turn, and he pulls down to the infield. Doug Hundley in car number 711 is your early race leader, moving into turns 3 and 4 with car number 21, Jeff Sherrill, running at second as they move out of turn 4 and through the intersection. Into turns 1 and 2. Chris Harmon now taking over the number 1 spot. Rick Lovingood comes up to second. The number 19 of Wayne Shoopman goes third. Car number 21, Jeff Sherrill, dragging a piece of the suspension on his car. And more than likely, he'll be black flagged and sent back to the pit area as he moves through the intersection. Chris Harmon in car number 116, your race leader. Rick Lovingood in car number 11 now, dicing with the number 19 of Wayne Shootman for second as they move into turns 3 and 4. Rick Hine goes fourth on the field as they exit turn number 4 and move through the intersection. John Harrison at 5th place as they collect lap number 3.
Okay, Dean, I got a feeling I'll be here.
As your race leaders move out of turn number 4, Chris Harmon in car number 116 collects lap number 4. Rick Lovingood runs at second. The number 19 of Wayne Shootman going third. Butch Winters along with Rick Hine battling for 4th place. They'll trade some sheet metal. And Hine along with Winters collide at the intersection. Car number 116, Chris Harmon, your race leader. Rick Lovingood runs at second. The number 19 of Wayne Shootman forced to slow at the intersection. He's your 3rd place running car right now. John Harrison in the number 33 runs 4th, and then at 5th, it's the number 53 of Troy Morrison. Although it looks like Jeff Sherrill may be taking that spot away. Morrison and Sherrill are tangled going into turns 1 and 2. They break free from each other. Chris Harmon exits turn 4 and through the intersection. And Rick Lovingood has to make a maneuver to avoid Butch Winters at the intersection. With 7 laps now completed. Rick Hine makes his reemergence from the pit area after having a bumper removed from his machine. And again, Chris Harmon in the number 116 taking chances at that intersection. Eight laps completed. And lap number 9 due to go up on the scoreboard this time around as Chris Harmon moves through the intersection and collects lap number 9. The battle right now is for 2nd place as Wayne Shootman looks to the high side of Rick Lovingood. Gains some momentum coming out of the 2nd turn and moves through the intersection. So it's the number 19 of Wayne Shootman who runs at 2nd. Rick Lovingood runs 3rd. There's your race leader at the intersection. Chris Harmon collecting lap number 11. Harmon moving out of turn 4, collects lap number 12. And Wayne Shootman in car number 19 from nearby Fairdale, Kentucky, your 2nd place running car, begins moving in on our race leader, Chris Harmon. And only about 5 car lengths separate 1st and 2nd as they move back into turns 3 and 4. Shootman now scooting into turns 3 and 4, closing in on Chris Harmon for the lead as they exit turn number 4. And through the intersection, they'll collect lap 13, and we're 7 away from a finish. Your race leaders now moving through the intersection down into turns 3 and 4 with less than 7 laps to go. Chris Harmon over to turn number 4 with Wayne Shootman in the number 19 right there with him. Back into turns 1 and 2. Shootman looking to the inside on Harmon as they move over to turn number 2. And they move through the intersection. Less than 6 to go now. We have another shootout for 3rd and 4th between the number 11 of Rick Levengood and the number and there's trouble there at the intersection. Butch Winters and Troy Morrison get together right directly in front of our race leaders, and the number 19 of Wayne Shootman is able to take over the lead. So Troy Morrison and car number 53 and Butch Winters got together just there at the intersection while racing together, and each have sidelined their cars. Lap number 16 now getting collected, and we're 4 away from a finish. And it looks like the red flag is definitely out. The red flag out after 15 laps of competition. We have 5 to go in our B feature for the Pronto Auto Parts Monroe Shock Absorber Figure 8s. Okay, car number 33 in the official ruling from the LMS officials. 33, John Harrison, was on the lead lap, and because he came back out, he is posted in the number 5 position. The green flag is out and we're racing. And it looks like car 27, Rick Hine, begins dragging the front bumper on his machine. Car number 27 already 1 lap down to the race leaders, and he'll get the black flag this time around. They race over to turn number 2. The number 19 of Wayne Shootman is your race leader. The number 116 of Chris Harmon runs it second. Rick Levengood going third. The number 27 of Rick Hine continues to drag the bumper around. And again, that's going to be a dangerous situation if that bumper pulls loose from that car. He's being black flagged repeatedly. But again, he heeds the, doesn't heed the warning there. They race out of turn 2 and down through the intersection. 17 laps completed. And it's car number 19, Wayne Shootman, leading out of turn 4. With now 18 laps completed, we're 2 away from a finish. Car number 116, Chris Harmon, runs at second, and the number 11 of Rick Levengood goes third. Dave Staten at 4th in car number 07. And right now he's got the pressure on Levengood for 3rd place as they race down into turns 3 and 4. Jeff Sherrill in car number 21 still in the contest, although not in the top 5, as the white flag comes out. Less than 1 lap to go. Car number 19, Wayne Shootman, the Vertree Sign Company, Martin Landscaping, Taylor Battery Company, Racing Chevrolet. Car also sponsored by Vertree Sign Company, moves out of turn 4, and he'll take the checkered flag. Across the line at second, an unsponsored Chevrolet Monte Carlo of Chris Harmon, and for 3rd place, Rick Levengood in car number 11. So that's the way they finish in our B feature for the Pronto Auto Parts Monroe Shock Absorbers Figure 8 division. And again, car number 19, Wayne Shootman of nearby Fairdale, Kentucky, takes the victory. The car is sponsored by Vertree Sign Company, as well as Prairie Village Pet Center, West 44 Auto Parts B&R Speed Shop, as well as Martin Landscaping, Taylor Battery Company. There he is, the number 19 of Wayne Shootman. Our first 20-lap feature for the Kentari General Tire Rookie Bombers. And they roar off down the back straightaway with Robbie Birch, the early race leader. He's challenged on the outside by Mickey Dunn as the field works out of turn 4. Rick Jackman in car number 911 comes to the inside of Mickey Dunn. The battle for second as they work out of the second turn and down the backstretch. Problems for Dale Hay in car number 127, and now car number 266 gets into the outside retaining wall up in the 3rd and 4th turn. That's Larry McAuliffe, the 266. Your race leaders move down the back straightaway. A lot of the action right now in the mid portion of the pack as they move down into turns 3 and 4. David Cleophas in the 300. Dale Hay in the 127 in bad shape, hits the 09, spins him around on the front straightaway, and he moves down to the infield. Quite a traffic jam going into the first and second turn there. They continue to circle this Louisville Motor Speedway, and they collect lap number 5. We're 25% into the scheduled distance here. Car number 244, Robbie Birch is your race leader. The number 911, Rick Jackman currently runs at second. Going third, it's D. Brown. And then also in that top 4 right now, it's the number 79 of Mickey Dunn. One car in bad shape on the back straightaway. That's the number 9, I believe, of Ralph Barnhart. And the number 66 also joining in on the back stretch. Wendell Elmore in the number 66, and the caution flag coming out. So the yellow flag comes out at lap number 7. Yellow flag coming out when I believe the number 66 of Wendell Elmore, along with several other cars, were stopped. Turn 4. The green flag is back out, and we're back to racing action here tonight on Bob Hook Chevy Gio Isuzu night here at Louisville Motor Speedway. Car number 07 has a problem down in the first and second turn. Spins down to the infield. William Vest in the 07. It's Dale Hay in car number 127, also slowing down, headed back towards the pit area. As the field collects lap number 8, moving in on the halfway point of this event. Change up for the lead. D. Brown in the 075 takes over the lead. Rick Jackman in car number 911 moving into the number 2 spot as they move down the front straightaway. Your race leaders click off lap number 9 and shuffle off into turns 1 and 2. And down the back straightaway, Rick Jackman still looking to the inside of D. Brown for the lead. As they race into the third and fourth turn, Jackman glides up the banking as they race out of turn number 4. Nearly side by side going into turns 1 and 2. As they collect lap number 10. And it looks like the Louisville City Police project car, the Oldsmobile, the number 911, driven by Sergeant Rick Jackman, takes over the number 1 spot. Looks for his second feature win of the 1992 racing season. He's got 9 laps to decide it in. Car number 075 right now, D. Brown. Little contact there with Jackman for the lead. D. Brown now looking back to the inside as they exit turn number 4 and reestablishes the lead as they move back into the first turn. Little wisp of smoke out of the 075 and your race leaders move out of turn 2. Ralph Barnhart in car number 9 set to go a lap down to our race leaders. Is now Jackman. May give up the number 2 spot. Here comes Rick Mears in the 91 now to the inside as they race back into turns 1 and 2, and Rick Mears takes over the number 2 spot. Mickey Dunn comes up to 3rd, and the number 27 of Harry Vitito goes 4th. Rick Jackman at 5th. D. Brown in the 075 is your race leader, but a lot of smoke out of that machine. He's got 6 more laps to go, and I don't know if the car can last that long as they move down the back straightaway. A lot of smoke out of that machine. Out of turn number 4 and down the front straightaway, the Jim Brown Auto Sales Racing Chevrolet